All right, diving right in today, folks. We're talking Premier League football, but more importantly, we're talking about the human side of the game.
That's right.
You know, the heart, the struggle, the setbacks.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, we have a pretty tough one to unpack today. Luke Shaw, after a long and grueling recovery from some pretty serious injuries, was just getting back into form for Manchester United.
Right back on the pitch.
Looking good, yeah.
He was.
And now this, another injury. Sidelined again.
It's a tough blow, no doubt about it.
It is. It really is. And, you know, his Instagram post, it's heartbreaking, to be honest. He talks about this being the toughest period, feeling absolutely devastated. You could just feel the weight of this setback.
Yeah, you can definitely sense the emotional toll this is taking on him. And it's understandable, given his history with injuries.
Exactly. This isn't just a one-off thing. We're talking about a 29-year-old player who's already battled through some serious knee and calf problems.
And those aren't minor issues, especially for a player like Shaw, who relies so much on his pace and explosiveness getting up and down that left flank. Think back to that ACL tear a few years back. That was a major setback.
Oh, absolutely. A devastating injury for any footballer, but especially for someone like Shaw, whose game is built on those dynamic runs forward.
Exactly. And then you factor in the recurring calf strains. Those can be just as debilitating in their own way, limiting his ability to push off, to really generate that power and speed.
Yeah, it all adds up. And it makes you wonder what's going through his mind right now.
Yeah.
He mentions that feeling of letting people down.
Right.
I mean, can you imagine that pressure, wanting so badly to be there for your team, to contribute, but your body just won't cooperate?
I think a lot of us, even those of us who aren't professional athletes, can relate to that feeling on some level, that sense of frustration of not being able to live up to your own expectations or the expectations of others.
For sure. And when you're playing for a club like Manchester United, with its massive global fan base and the weight of history, that pressure gets amplified tenfold. And then you add in a new manager like Ruben Amorim.
Who's come in with a very specific style of play, a high-pressing, attacking system.
Exactly. He needs his fullbacks to be at their best, pushing high up the pitch, joining the attack. And Shaw was just starting to find his groove in that system.
And now Amorim has a real tactical dilemma on his hands. How do you replace a player like Shaw, especially with a crucial match against Arsenal looming?
Yeah, the timing of this couldn't be worse. We're talking about a massive rivalry, one of the biggest matches of the season.
Absolutely. And you know Arsenal's going to be looking to exploit any weakness on that left side.
So what are Amorim's options here? Who could he even put in that spot?
Well, he could shift Diogo Dalot over from the right, but that weakens their right side, potentially leaving them exposed to someone like Bukayo Saka, who's been tearing it up on that right wing for Arsenal.
And that's a scary proposition.
Mm.
Saka's been on fire this season. So you're saying Amorim might have to get creative, maybe even change formations entirely.
It's definitely a possibility. He might be forced to play a back three, which would provide more defensive cover, but could also limit their attacking options. It's a tough balancing act.
It is, and it really underscores just how important Shaw is to this Manchester United team.
He's a key player, no doubt about it.
He is. And, you know, it's easy to get caught up in the tactical side of things, but at the end of the day, this is about a player battling adversity.
Absolutely. It's about the human element.
And Shaw, to his credit, ended his Instagram post on a note of defiance. He said he's going to do everything I can to come back better soon to help this club achieve its ambitions this season.
Yeah, you got to admire that fighting spirit.
You do.
Yeah.
But reading between the lines, I also sense a bit of frustration there, maybe even a sliver of doubt creeping in.
It's understandable. These setbacks take a toll, both physically and mentally, and it makes you wonder, how much pressure do these elite athletes face, not just to perform at the highest level, but to constantly overcome these obstacles, and what kind of support systems are in place to help them navigate those challenges, both on and off the pitch?
That's a great question. Something for all of us to think about. The human side of the game. It's just as important as the tactics and the scores.
Absolutely.
Well, folks, that's our deep dive for today. A tough situation for Luke Shaw and Manchester United, but we're wishing him all the best in his recovery.
A speedy recovery, we hope.
We do. And as always, thanks for joining us. We'll be back soon with another deep dive into the world of football.
Looking forward to it.